Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup podcast, episode 110. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
You're back.
I am here. Yes,
You missed last week.
I was
And
very
now
sick.
you're back.
Now I'm just a little sick.
We got a bunch of fun things to talk about. We got Tigers, Snakes, Moons, oh my. What does this mean for part of the Mistvale? Flesh and Blood's new expansion coming out in May.
Pretty hype.
Very exciting. And debuting in Tokyo, which is super cool. And then going to talk a little bit about my draft experience. I did a thing yesterday and didn't draft Kasai. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to talk about Magic and all the things that are making us nervous is the right word, I guess?
That's the right word.
Concerned.
Yeah.
About the rest of the year.
Scratching our heads like,
Why?
Yeah.
Why is a common question asked between John and I this week. And then what else were we going to talk about? Oh, and Star Wars Unlimited. And how, if you missed last week's episode and are at all interested, I had Scott from the Golden Dice podcast come on and talk all Star Wars Unlimited, and I learned a bunch of things. I feel like I was pretty in tune with the game and what was happening and things in regards to just what's coming out. How does OP system look? All that kind of stuff. So we dove deep into that. We ran for an hour and a half, which is way longer than our usual podcasts. But I just kept coming up with questions, and Scott just kept coming up with more things to share, and I am all on board and very excited for Star Wars Unlimited. I'm on for 2 pre-releases next week, which is very exciting, and then the set drops the week after, and there may be a live stream that March 8th on the channel of me opening a bunch of Star Wars Unlimited. So be excited for that. But first, let's talk about some Flesh and Blood. Yeah. World premiere of part of the Mistvale.
Yeah, I dig it.
And calling Tokyo. For 10,000 years, our ancestors have walked the path well traveled. Like the tiger stalking its prey, they have waited. Like the snake hiding in the murky water, they have waited. Like the waning faces of the moon, they have waited. Until
that last
now.
One is the most controversial.
The truth lies beyond the mist.
Because it feels like it's a class reveal, but then does that mean wizard? But then the picture is the white-haired lady like a mirror, the Blusionist. But is it a Blusionist or is it a wizard?
Is it a Blusionist wizard?
That's even more weird. Like, I feel like that would be terrible if they did that. But hey, who knows? They pulled off weirder stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? It's ninjas.
I think ninja and assassin are pretty tied up.
I think that's very good. Zuri is clearly from the Mistlands, right? Mm-hmm. Like her background, her young card, all that stuff very much indicate it. So assassin fits, and then obviously ninja is Mistland. But then the Blusionist versus wizard.
Do we get an adult Ira? Tiger Ira?
No. Ira's 400 years dead. Remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I don't think Ira's in it. I mean, it always could be wrong, right? There's a million
Ira's ancestor.
Yeah, it could be that. Like, there's definitely ways they could work it if that's what they wanted to do. Yeah. So how many heroes? Is it 3? Is it 6?
I feel like it's gonna be not 3 because of how many heroes they want to put out each year, and there's only 3 sets a year.
Yeah. What did they say? How many for this year? Is it 15?
15. And they had 6.
So, but if it's 6 and then times, that's too much.
Yeah, so maybe it's 6, 3, 6.
Could be.
So maybe it is 3.
So this could be 3. Yeah. Okay. I could see that. Okay. Yeah. I'm in it.
And then they don't all come too quickly. They like the 6 from the heavy hitters get a chance to kind of establish themselves.
That's actually a really good.
And then you have 3 come in, for shake things up. And then you have 6 come in to
finish off the year and kind of start off the next meta. Yeah, I could see that. That seems cool. I like Blusionist. I hope it's Amira because I've been wanting that for a long time.
Will that bring you back?
No, probably not. But I do like the art, so I might collect if she's got like a full art or Marvel or something. I'd probably pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the Marvels the other day. I think I reviewed it with the update, and I was like, which do I want to pick one of these up? Because I kind of do.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty art. There's some pretty art.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna get the Kasai? Is there a price target for you?
Marvel Kasai?
Yeah.
Probably if it hits 200.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was curious what kind of the line in the sand was for you, because it's expensive. Like
Yeah.
I get being like, "Nyeh,"
Yeah.
and also waiting and letting it come down, which makes sense totally.
Yeah, because I mean, new set's gonna come. Maybe she doesn't. I don't think she's not top tier deck.
I was gonna say she's not on track to LL, so you're not
No.
gonna get that discount anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not. I will definitely have it before she LLs.
Okay.
But if she LLs and I don't have it, then I will definitely pick it up when it's cheap.
Snatch it up. Yeah.
I was able to make a trade on Thursday. I traded a couple cards for the promo Dory, the Rainbow Dory.
Okay.
And it's signed, and it's gorgeous. Oh, and I brought it home, and I just stared at it for a couple of minutes. It was very cool. Cool. Yeah, friend came to locals and was looking to build Ranger, and I had a bunch of Ranger foils that they were looking for. And so I looked through the trade binder and found that, and I was like, "You're not going to trade that?" And they were like, "Sure." And I was like, "Really?" And they were like, "Yeah, I got the cold foil version." I was like, "Oh, fair."
Nice.
Fair. So that was very nice. Very excited to have that in my collection. So that's kind of my like hero Marvel at the moment right now that I need.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to pick something up, but it's just
some of the young ones are getting pretty cheap, but I feel like they'll settle around $20, like the dragons.
The young ones, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was actually wondering about that. Like, why is no one just picking up the young ones? Are people that worried about it at their events? Like, I feel like no one would give a crap if you were using the young card instead of the adult.
You can't for competitive events.
But who cares? Like, how many competitive events are people going to? Like, okay, so pull out the M card that's the regular art for the competitive event, absolutely. But for everything else, you use the Marvel, or use one of the snap cases and put both of them in there.
That's logic,
and then you flip one side for the beautiful art, and you flip the other so people shut up about you not having the right card. And then guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yes, that's logic, John.
I know. It's crazy because the price is so different. Like, I would absolutely, for example, Kasai, I would absolutely grab the young Kasai for like whatever it is, $50, and then throw the real Kasai on the other side, you know?
I was able to pick up young Kasai sleeves at draft last night.
Yeah.
And sleeved up my Kasai deck in those. So that was very exciting. So I did get to play, we'll talk about it, but I did get to play my Kasai deck in paper yesterday after draft. And nice. I beat a Riptide. And I was very surprised because I went into this being like, yeah, this is going to be a dumpster fire game because, you know, Riptide, RIP Kasai in Blitz traditionally. And that's what I knew.
That true?
I didn't know that. Because there was, when I was playing Kasai before she LL'd, in Blitz, the old Kasai, I would, every time I would queue or open a game in Talishar, Riptide would match into me. And then because they would see Kasai, and it's such a losable, unwinnable match, because basically you give things go again, you boost their attack, and so it triggers all of Riptide's traps.
Yeah.
And then there was a Blitz.
Why is Riptide good?
At that time, there was a Blitz deck that Riptide basically just played D-reacts and traps. And it was not okay.
Yeah.
But this is very different. It was a very different Riptide deck that was a little more aggressive and played like Ravenous Ravels and stuff like that. It was very redline.
Interesting.
Which I feel like would be the better version of Riptide in CC.
Yeah.
But then for sure. I actually won. So it wasn't anywhere near. It was a pretty good match. Like I got I think I got to like 13 or something.
Now, was it a new pilot for that deck or very experienced?
Experienced player, new pilot.
Okay, so that's a new
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, yeah, give
But
it
same
time
here.
then,
I'm
but still. Yeah,
experienced,
that's
but
true. That's
new.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
That was my
Yeah,
first
because
time.
Kasai is not Kasai anymore.
No.
It's a different Kasai for
It was
sure.
both of our first time playing those respective decks in paper.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's an even match then.
Yeah. Yeah, so it felt good. Kasai feels super fun to play, and I am already feeling comfortable on the deck. I'll have to obviously get comfortable with the different matchups again and
Mhm.
figure out what to do into what, but it all seems pretty okay. Um, yeah, I just need more practice on the deck, but thoroughly enjoying like learning the lines and stuff like that. And it's still very much I can block 7 every turn and threaten on hits. That's the biggest win with this new Kasai
It's
is
insane.
the
There's definitely power creep.
well, because so you got all your cards block 3 pretty much minus some instants, and then um, so you block with 2, save a blue and a go again, and you have your Valiant Dynamos, so you're blocking 7. So
Mhm.
for the on hits, and those nasty 4s or 7s or whatever. And then if something goes bigger, you still have your fridge that you can deal with things when you really need to.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
All right, real quick, jumping back to Mistlands.
Yeah, want to talk about the interesting how it may be an interested limited environment.
Okay, why? What
Players
made you say that?
for the sealed players will receive 8 booster packs to construct a deck of exactly 30.
Wait, what?
Players will receive 8 booster packs to construct a deck of exactly 30.
What are they changing the number of packs in a box or something?
No.
So you have to break more boxes to do sealed
Yes.
by like quite a bit.
It cuts out 1 player
That's crazy.
because you're giving 2 to each. That's minus 1 player. That's 3 players in a box for sealed.
What the heck?
Yep. So the full thing is for the decks. It'll be Swiss rounds, best of 1. Swiss rounds are 30 to 35 minutes. We all know that stuff. Um, the world premiere will run a fixed 4 Swiss round. So this is for the world premiere, but I'm assuming this is how the limited format will be because why would they premiere it as something different? Players will receive 8 booster packs to construct a deck of exactly 30 cards. Players will have the option to select Japanese or English language for their world premiere tournament. Because again, this is happening in Tokyo. Flesh and Blood is taking off in Japan right now, and it's going to have Japanese language. So, but I'm sure they are thinking a lot of people will want to come from across the world to play these great games in the Flesh and Blood. So they are also going to have the cards in English for English speaking players, which is pretty cool. Players will receive a product of the chosen language and play in a tournament with exclusively Japanese or English language cards. So there will be 2 tournaments, I guess. Deck checks will be conducted by event staff throughout the tournament. It is the responsibility of each player to ensure there are no distinguishing marks or patterns on their cards or card sleeves for the duration of the tournament. Vendors will be on site to purchase sleeves if required. So, usual stuff. But the difference is the 8 booster packs to construct exactly 30 cards, which those are the 2 changes. 2 more packs to build your deck and limit cap at 30. And no minimum, no more, no less.
Okay, so what does that mean? That means we don't have any like freeze out decks, defensive decks, right?
Yep.
It's got to be because you can't
You
do
fatigue.
that. Yeah, you can't do that to fatigue hero, right? That would be very mean. And you're gonna have a lot more cards to work with.
Are you?
With that many packs? Yes. Isn't the normal 5 and now they're doing 8?
Right, but what's the pack breakdown? How many cards for your chosen class are in each pack?
So you don't think there's like crossover like they've done in the last two sets?
Maybe there's not dual class cards.
Yeah, that's fair. That could be. Maybe they did cut that back out.
Maybe
So wait, we
talents.
got yeah, that's unlikely though. Ninja and Assassin alone are crossover-y.
Right.
And you're saying they're not going to do that?
No, so we were at the armories talking about why the change to 8.
And
that was one of our things.
No one knows why. Because there's no
because we don't know the pack. We don't know the pack distribution. We don't know the classes. So there's a lot of unanswered things here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
So we were just speculating on why that might be. And it might be that you just need 8 packs to get to 30. Which I feel like they wouldn't. Maybe 8 packs to get to 35, 36 for your class. And then you choose the 30.
Yeah.
Because obviously there will be generic, like always.
Or maybe there aren't. Maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's pure 3-class set. Call it 3-class support, illusionist, assassin, and ninja. That would not go poorly, actually. Especially if it's a new illusionist archetype.
Right.
And then assassin and ninja, you could have a set that's like fully supportive of them. Plus, it could stand on its own for draft purposes, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you look at like Uprising draft, right? You have Draconic cards that can be used by 2, and then you have Ice cards that can be used by 1.
There's mention of talents, right? Yeah, of a new arrival of new talent, unlike anything Wraith has seen before.
So here's my hot take on this.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Sorry, your coughs are contagious.
Yeah, apparently.
So my hot take on this, and I'm calling it now, I called it in the Discord, is the illusionist or wizard. I still think it could be wizard with the moon, and because waning moon, but it's water, and maybe it's Icelander. The ice has melted, and it's a mill deck. Mill wizard on hits with mill effects.
Yeah. What was it? Wasn't there some mill hint with Arachne or something recently?
Yeah.
What was that?
Recently?
Yeah, the last set or something. They gave him a card that was like kind of mill, but obviously you couldn't build around it because it was just the one.
Right. Yeah. So they tested the waters originally when Arachne came out.
I can't remember. I thought there was a recent card that was like, "Ooh, they're leaning into that." Maybe I'm mistaken. I know there's the mill hammer, but that's not what I'm talking about. It was for the assassin. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing it up.
There was an expansion class. There was an expansion slot card. Let me see.
I know he had the dagger that could repeat, like the recursive dagger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's a mill-based thing. I don't know. They're definitely
there's already dead. When it hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck and the defending card.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But that was in Bright Lights.
When was that?
Bright Lights?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. It was in the last set. It wasn't this set. It was Oh, wait, no. Bright Lights was the last set.
Heavy Hitters is the last set.
No, Heavy Hitters is the current set.
Oh, okay.
Because this isn't out yet, right?
Right. True.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That was the one. So yeah, I mean, I could see there being some mill mechanics. Oh, I don't know, man. If that's not a mirror, I'm gonna be mad. If that's Icelander and water. Now they've hinted at a water wizard. I mean, I'm not a water wizard, a water ninja for a long time. Whelming Gust Wave, all these things are very. There's a ton of like water ninja stuff. There's one of the kicks I think has like water spinning around the ninja.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a water ninja, and plus Mist Veil alone is like air water. Ooh, what if the wizard's that lightning wizard?
Oh no.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because that's in a lot of the pictures, right?
Yeah.
And that fits. Well, it doesn't really fit with the Starry Sky thing. Although,
No.
wait a second. What was
Water and
the
electric.
Luvian Castellus or whatever the wizard cloak that is that wizard, and he's all
Yeah.
covered in
That's
stars.
true. That's true.
Oh, wild, wild. Yeah, maybe this image is just Shiana wandering there because I feel like she's the story driver.
Yeah. The
She
shapeshifter.
seems to show up in every one of the sets
Yeah.
as like a personality, not necessarily in the cards.
Right.
Huh. So here's my other question.
Yeah.
What the hell comes next? They have completed the full cycle on the back of the card.
Yeah.
They didn't do it in order. I don't know why. That makes me nuts.
I mean, if
They did it in order up to a point, and then they freaking just went insane on the last half. I don't know why.
yeah. I mean, if we didn't have heavy hitters in the last set as this current set, I would say something kind of like Welcome to Wraith, where it gets back to basics and kind of makes a core set. Because I think every now and again you need a set that is, I don't know, like a Magic core set that is very beginner friendly for limited, and um, I don't know, just teaches you the core basics of the game again, which, I mean, I don't think is a bad idea, and I think will be required as the game goes on, just as entry ramps, because I know there's definitely not, every Flesh and Blood set is definitely not beginner friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think heavy hitters fulfills that need,
Yes.
though.
Yeah. Yeah. We can dive into that a little bit about my drafting this week.
Well, before we do that, what's the next place? Where we go? We going Demons Demonstrate? What is it called? The Monastery?
The monastery. I could see that. I could see us going
Is
to
that the arcane set that was
no,
promised?
because then we get Shadow Wizard, and I don't like that.
Shadow Wizard, Rune Blades, like all arcane focus. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a minute since we got a
I
Rune Blade.
know. You're probably right.
I bet that's it. I bet, and then that's like the bottom of the back of the card, you know, because it's like the little demonic looking one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really curious where they take this. I'm upset that they went out of order, but I can live with it. I can live with it. So it's cool. I'm excited for this. Miss Vale looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's beautiful style. I love this style.
Yeah.
For the key art or whatever.
It's gorgeous.
That. Yeah. I mean, I love the Waning Moon, the Icelander. I love the freaking mirror the whole time. Like all these things are the things that I've been like, ooh, so pretty. So I'm very excited about that. And then some cool, the ninja, if the tigers are in there, I love the freaking wood carved style tigers. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also means that I won't be tempted to dive into any of these heroes, which makes me feel good.
You're like, I am committed to Kasai. Yay.
Yeah. I may go back to Dory. We'll see. One of the two.
Really? Kasai doesn't have it for you, huh?
Huh?
Kasai doesn't have it for you? You're going back to Dory?
No, as in I may do like Kasai for locals, and then I may do Dory for SCG.
Oh, I see.
Because Dory is, I think, a little more competitive of the Warriors right now. Because the big feeling that I've had with this new Kasai is it's super fun. I love the gameplay. But you just don't have those massive power turns that Dory does. You don't have those Dory specializations.
Right.
So basically,
she didn't have the full blood on her hands capability or whatever, the breakout moment.
Oh, no, she absolutely does. Kasai does.
So what's the concern then?
Dory can do it off of a correct hand. You draw the right cards, you're going off next turn. You just eat all the damage and you go. And you end up with a couple counters on your Dawnblade, and then that's a pivot turn that the opponent may not be able to come back from. And that can happen at any turn. It can happen turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any turn. With Kasai, you are not having those big turns until turn 6, 7, 8 at the earliest. Because you need to set up. You need to build the copper. You need to build the gold.
Gotcha.
But you can have I think you can have more powerful turns with Kasai compared to a no counter Dawnblade Dory. You can have bigger turns. But so basically Dory got stronger and Kasai appeared, but Dory was already really strong. Add Blade Flurry to Dory, and it's just gross. Because both your swings get +2.
Gotcha.
For free. Or for 0 cost for a card. But yeah, we'll see. That's coming up. That's the 9th. So I will be there playing one warrior or another, which will be fun. I'll probably play 3-4 rounds drop and then cheer my friends on who are doing well, as usual. But yeah, maybe I'll do side events. We'll see. It'll be a good time either way.
Yeah,
but that's also Star Wars release weekend. So I may just be running home to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be tricky for you.
Well, I'm taking off Friday, so that's why it makes it a little easier. So Friday will be Star Wars Day, and then Saturday will be Flesh and Blood, and then probably back to Star Wars Sunday. But yeah, also was able to do 2 drafts this week for Flesh and Blood. The first one, I drafted Kasai, and I think I went 1-2. It was a 10-person pod, so it was just a little clunky. And I forced Kasai, and it was fine. I don't know. I ended up with way too many 2 blocks, which is a common problem when I draft Kasai. I don't prioritize 3 blocks enough, which I should. But then, yesterday, I drafted KO. And because the reason I went KO was because I had intended to do Kasai like I always do. But I had a pack one, pick one of Cast Bones. So.
Good card.
Yeah. Yeah. And that almost won me a game. I did lose both my games and then have a bye on KO. But the 2 games I lost were close, and I was very much fumbling through learning Brute for the first time. But definitely see why KO is definitely the easier deck to draft and play.
Yeah, it's the Go Burr deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a no thought, you get your advantage capability.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to remember about it.
Yeah, just remember, but you don't have to do anything to activate it. It just is.
Yes, right.
So, yeah. It's like, wasn't Max the same way? It's like basically if you swing, you get the thing.
Kind of. Max was proper usage of cranking.
That's right. But all the cards that he wanted to use all had the cranking stuff with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you draft the crank, you draft the thing, and then he does the thing automatically.
He also wants
whatever.
boost.
Oh, boost. That's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really understand why Cast Bones was so good, and then I played it.
And now you do.
Now I do. And so it's reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. So I did that, and I got all 6. So I got 6 might tokens and an agility token.
Oh, nothing wrong with that at all. It's totally easy to deal with that.
Yeah, so I definitely would have won that game, but I had to block with my whole hand the next turn. Otherwise, I would have died.
Oh, well.
So then I lost all my might tokens and agility tokens.
You used Cast Bones too late?
Yeah, I drew into it too late in the game.
Yeah.
But
that happens.
Yeah.
RNG, baby.
Yeah. That was fun. It was fun. I definitely will draft KO again. Which is surprising because I was just going to force Kasai the whole time. But we'll see. Now I'm willing to pivot if it...
well, you have your Kasai deck now, so
yeah,
might as well grab some different cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's all shiny.
God, already?
That's already. Crazy. I ordered... Yeah, it was... And so so here's a fun fact that I wanted to share. I was able to order all shiny, rainbow, cold foil, versions of cards that I needed from heavy hitters to finish my Kasai deck, borrowing from my Dory deck for the other cards that I already had. And it came out to be under a case, which felt very nice.
Yeah.
Because basically it was because I didn't buy a case of heavy hitters this time around. So because I was weighing things out and I was just like, well, we got Star Wars coming. I'm gonna go hard there. So let's see if instead of just buying a case and ripping a case, just buying the cards
singles,
exactly I
listening
need.
to your own advice,
Listening to my own advice,
singles.
and I did it. This is the first time I did it. I took my own advice and just bought singles, and it worked. And I got exactly the cards I wanted. Even like, I got some rainbow foils from like Crucible War and stuff too.
Nice.
Because I have 3 rainbow foil Nourishing Emptiness, which is the saddest rainbow foil of all rainbow foils.
Is that one that's like really dark so you can't see the foiling?
It's just barely anything's foiled.
Yeah, I remember those ones where we're like, what? This is a foil? The hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Ravenous Rabble's another one. I think it's just his eyes.
Yeah, similar.
It's like, what are you even doing here?
Yeah, it's just the thing she's holding and like her shoes or something. It's not much.
That's too funny.
And some rainbow foil cash-ins, stuff like that. But all the hit and runs, Blade Runners, all the go-agains. Yeah, I don't know. It's a super fun deck, and I was super excited to be able to just pick it up for less than a case.
Yeah, I mean that's.
It includes the cold foil Grains of Spellblood.
Too, yeah,
which was like half of it, but
yeah, there's not a whole lot that's like collectible and Flesh and Blood cards.
Besides early stuff.
Yeah, I don't even think that's collectible, man. I've been selling a lot because Flesh and Blood stuff has picked up as far as sales. And I have a bunch of this like first edition crew and in that time frame arc even foils, non-foils, etc. And they're like $1 at most, $2. Like they're mostly cheap.
Yeah.
It's like the cards are not collectible. The market is entirely like meta driven, therefore there's no long-term value, at least at this stage in the game for individual cards. Now obviously that's different when you're talking about classic staples, cold foils, etc. But even that I wonder, because I was talking on the Discord about was it Nullrune?
Yeah.
Which used to be such a core thing. Like everyone had a Nullrune piece just in case, right? Well, that went away, and now AB's coming back, so of course people want it. But there's other AB things that do other stuff now. So why? So Nullrune's dead, and so it's not even valuable anymore.
Well, it's like Iron Rot.
Yeah, all that stuff is just like. Unfortunately, the cards just don't hold any value long term, as far as I've seen. They just kind of trickle down after a while, post the big bubble. It's just not. It's not how they're building it. The Marvels are the one exception now. But yeah,
even the Marvel Dragons, like looking at them compared to what they were.
Oh, they're nothing now. They're like $10. Yeah. So it's like even that, but I feel like the Dragons, they kind of overdid it. That was like the peak of we went silly on it. And they've pulled back since then, which is nice. But yeah, it's just not a collectible game so much as a playable game. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could I know people that do the speculative route around singles and then just basically buy good singles that are good key cards for those classes, but then just buy them when they're $1, $2, and then wait for the class to be playable. And then these are cards that go into the deck, and then they're $20.
That's not called collecting. That's called scalping. That's speculation for the sake of making money. That's not collecting.
Okay, so what's yeah, okay, that's investing.
Yeah, it's just investing, speculating. Yeah, it's not collecting. There's nothing here that's like long-term collectible. There's no Lotus. There is no thing that will hold value over time and will go up over time only. Everything that was once that, they basically override with something better later. The only exception right now is Tunic from the old stuff. Everything else has already been overridden.
And
the old
Tunic has come
helmets.
down because they've reprinted it.
Reprinted it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, there is no real collectible singles in this game. That's not what they're doing. They're making it so singles are affordable, which is fine. It's a player's market for sure. We've said this for years now, but it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, that's how they're building it. With the exception of, I think the Marvels, I think these full art treatments of the heroes is an exception. But we know when they LL, what's going to happen? Price is going to crash. So there's no point in like buying it to hold on to it unless you just want it for the art.
Well, sure.
So
yeah, and I mean that's why I even I traded in a bunch of Flesh and Blood yesterday for store credit towards Star Wars.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, that's kind of what this says is like, when the prices are good, sell into the rise, right? And then if you want to play the game, there's, you can do this speculative scalping thing where you buy them cheap and then sell them high later. That's fine. But yeah, just buying to hold on for the long term, expecting it to go up is not really a Flesh and Blood thing.
So that's what I was doing kind of before, but in a way to make sure I had all the cards to be able to build any deck, because that was my thing for a while. I just wanted to have a playset of every card so that I could build any deck I wanted. But then the more I play, the more I realize the less I want to play other decks and other classes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just now. So now I have all these cards because I have full play sets up to like Dynasty. And then so when cards go off, I'm offloading them.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically to then fund more Warrior or Star Wars.
Yep. Seems like the move. That's basically what I've been seeing too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. It is sad though, because it means like foils from the first 3 sets, which used to have a bit of a premium, used to be a collectible thing. They're just not. They really aren't. Because they've been outpowered for the most part. So they're never going to be a desire to put them in a deck, and therefore the market's never going to support them. It just shows how much the collecting base is gone on the game now, and it's sad. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very
for me. Yeah, for me as a collector, like that. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, one of the things I really enjoyed about this is no longer a thing.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. But.
So, speaking of markets destroying card games, how about that Magic? Oh my god!
Still hyped for Modern Horizons 3?
Oh my god! What a nightmare! All right, so we talked about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Magic and my excitement was they got the last 5 or so sets right. They were kind of hitting on all cylinders as far as the print runs. LCI, Lost Caverns, Wilds, all those had a lot of good demand. Not too much product. The collector boxes were all sold out at that point, basically. Set boxes were really quickly behind them. I think set boxes are out at distro now already for Lost Caverns, which is what, a set ago. Which just tells you like they got the print run to demand right. It's now a valuable thing, which was cool because the boxes actually went up already. They're at like 125. And they started at 115. What? A product you can buy and it goes up? Amazing. Yeah, forget that. That's done. Yeah. My big stated worry was this transition to play boxes, and if they did it right, and if they picked the right print run number. Remember, we were talking about like now they're combining set and play. How many do you print?
I think you print to demand until it's out of standard.
That was the general idea, but apparently that wasn't a good idea either because the price is way too high, and the current pricing for Murder's play boxes is market price is 103.
Yeah.
And the like retail price is like 140. And if it's under 140, your LGS is gonna basically lose money.
And your card shop lives have it at 99.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like they are decimating like game stores with this. And I don't know what's gonna happen because honestly, they were on the right track. They flubbed this. They're clearly in this plan for the future, at least this year, right? While they're trying to sort out the next thing. They did say 2025 is the new adjustment. Like this is an adjustment year, but this is so far it's a bad start. And the Cowboy set's going to be the same thing. There's no way they change in that amount of time. They're not fast enough, right? It takes a while for them to adjust to things. And the collector boxes are down at 159, 151 actually. Sorry, like
And they were
insane.
being dumped by stores for 140.
Yeah, they're going to be dumped even cheaper. That's what I mean. Like this is we're back to the overprinted crazy times that we had before. And it
has serialized cards.
I know. And this is where I'm just like, oh no. So they got it right and now they're screwing it all up again. And does this scare everyone away from it? And my one, kind of saving grace hope was Modern Horizons 3. Maybe that will be good because 2 was good. But my concern again was, hey, they tend to screw things up if they do them too many times, right? Like the first one, the second one, it's great. By the third or fourth or fifth, whatever, they tend to overdo whatever they're doing and screw it up. And sure enough, Amazon came out with pre-order prices for Modern Horizons 3, collector boxes at $500, and play boxes at $378.
You get 12 packs though. You get 12 packs for that $500.
Yeah. $378 for a freaking play booster, dude.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane. That is insane. And then you pointed out a really funny thing. The Modern Horizons Modern staple set is coming out for Modern with a bunch of commander decks, including collectible commander decks. It's like, what? I didn't even realize that. That was fantastic. Yeah, you pointed that out. I'm like, what in the hell? I didn't even realize.
You can buy the standard collector decks, $280. Yeah. Or you can buy the collector for $600.
It's actually not that crazy. The 600 is a little crazy, but I don't know if anyone actually cares about that. But the 70 is not that crazy because I think it was Lord of the Rings or whatever. Some of the recent ones were 67. So they just raised those by $3. For the power decks, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think it was the Sliver one. Maybe it was Commander Masters one. 67, maybe. Something like that. Either way, I was looking at others and I was like, oh, okay, it's not that big of a price jump for the Commander decks, which makes me think they don't want anyone to buy collector or play boosters, like, because they're definitely overpricing those, and the Commander decks are like same pricey, close. So it's like they really are just leaning into everything's Commander now.
Yeah.
And that's it. Game over. That's it. Everything's Commander now. Nothing else matters. They're going to charge too much for it. And like, that scares me. Then, in my opinion, or I guess I'm worried about, I won't say it's my opinion because I'm not sure. We'll see where the data lands. But, this sort of behavior is like a Magic 30. It's going to turn off a bunch of players. Mm-hmm. It's going to turn off a bunch of collectors. It's going to chase people away. The money is going to flow out of Magic again. It was just starting to flow back. Interestingly, some old school cards started to rise again.
Mm-hmm.
Last block product started to rise again. That's kind of where I was getting excited because it's like all this stuff that dumped is now finally flushed out and the prices are starting to go up. So it's like, oh, we have that along with this newest block, the LCI and Wilds and all that, like being the right print style. So they're rising at the same time as the older stuff is flushed out and rising.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, we're like actually running out of stuff at distro in a reasonable amount of time. And you're like, wow, this is crazy. It's like they're on the right track with these things. And then we get into this play era, I'll call it, and it's the opposite. It's just a total dumpster fire. And that's gonna scare people away. I just don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Magic. This year might once again set it back. And then, God, I so hope they fire the stupid CEOs or whoever's in charge of this crap who decided to switch to play right when they had it right. Like, what a mistake.
I think play could be right.
Not at these prices.
Correct. And so,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
They aren't interested in reducing the prices. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Because I was going to say that's one of the things they would need to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't have reprint equity in there to make them worth anything.
Right. So make new cards.
Yeah. The only thing they can lean on is serialized cards. But if they do too much of that, they'll be worthless. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, at this point, they seem to have put themselves in a corner, and by the time they react, it will have to be like the end of the year. Maybe the last set gets an adjustment.
Some of the later sets do look cool,
and maybe they'll be cool and they get it right.
Yeah,
but it scares the hell out of me. Oh, and there's another thing that came out that we haven't actually talked about that disappointed me that I didn't realize. Did you know there's 5 different sets with the cowboy set?
No.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I did hear this. Isn't there like a
Yes.
Strixhaven kind of thing?
Yes.
Like the
Yeah.
Mystical Archives?
And they're all different symbols, very different symbols, like one's little safe door and all this shit. And obviously
Wonderful.
different codes. Yeah, 5 different.
Stores are gonna love that.
I like Wilds was fine. Wilds had the enchantments, right? And that was fine. You just throw them in with the color. It works, right?
Yeah.
This is 5 different sets.
Yeah.
That's too many. That becomes very difficult to navigate. And the fact that the symbols are all different. I mean, I guess the wild symbol is different too, but I'm just, oh my God. I started seeing these spoilers and I was like, what am I even looking at? Oh, you want to hear, you remember the days where spoilers were on top of spoilers? Well, they're freaking back, baby. Guess what spoilers came out all at the same time? Was it yesterday, the day before? It was all 5 of these sets, right? So that was confusing enough. Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Modern Horizons 3.
Yep.
And one other set that I can't. Oh, and there was leaks. I think this was just leaks about the Bramblewood or whatever the
Bloomsboro.
Yeah, that's it. The animal set.
That
All
one
at
I'm
the same
excited
time.
for.
All at the same time, though. Like I'm sitting here looking at the Reddits that have all the spoils on. I'm like, what is happening? What is this set? What is that set? I was just like losing my mind. So all the things that I disliked that I thought were over, that they felt like through the last 2 or 3, standard sets plus the additional sets seem to have been gone, they're all back. And they're back with a vengeance in a horrible way that costs way too much.
Well, there was MagicCon Chicago this weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably where they announced it all.
Oh, why all the spoilers came out at the same time? Yeah, still. Come on.
No, it's too many. I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying why they happened this weekend.
Yeah. It's no, I'm sorry. They actually officially released some of the Bria or the Bramblewood or whatever it's called.
Bloomsboro.
What
Bloomsboro.
was it?
Bloomsboro,
that's it. Yeah.
I don't know. I like Bloomsboro.
I do too. Yeah. That was the first one I thought the cowboy one might be cool, but with the 5 sets, I'm very less interested.
Cowboy things is not my thing, but also, I mean, you look at the popularity of Red Dead Redemption, right? There's a crowd.
Yeah. That's true. But, that's what it was. It was the Fallout was the other spoiler.
But there's also a crowd for murder mystery clue kind of stuff, and you see how Murders of Karlov went.
Yeah, I'm not liking it. I'm very worried about what they're doing. I wasn't excited about this year's sets in general. Like that wasn't my excitement.
Yeah, it was the excitement of the data looking good.
Yeah, like everyone was. Basically, I was excited because money got bored of all the new shinies and started flowing back to the classic. Right, is what it looked like, and that was starting to go well. And I was like, okay, this is the year you position yourself on old Magic that's playable, good stuff, your Wheels of Fortune and stuff, because they will go up as those people filter into Commander and then they go up the power level ladder and suddenly they want that older stuff that you can't get anywhere. And like, it seemed like it was all heading in that direction. And now I'm like, oh, is that going to still happen? Or is this going to disenfranchise so many people that they never even get that far,
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
I don't know. See. I think, and then they also announced that there's going to be 2 Universe Beyond sets a year. I think really it's going to pivot to be around that.
Well, and here's another thing. This is another thing that I don't know if it's good or bad, but the cards that are being put out in Fallout.
Yes.
There's a lot of reprints for like really powerful, expensive cards.
Yeah.
So are they going to put all their reprint equity into IP that they've licensed?
Probably, because
and
think
that's
about
why
it.
The standard sets are so lame, because they basically have to make sure they're successful.
Yeah, because otherwise the IP will be like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah, and we're not working with you in the future, right? And they don't want that.
Yeah. Why is
or
Lord of the Rings...
next IP will say no because they saw what happened to the last one, right?
Right. And they got Marvel around the corner. They got Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So
they can mess up Assassin's Creed. I think they won't miss out on Ubisoft IP.
Some of
next do
that
we get like the watchdog?
was revealed. I will say the Cleopatra Greek card looks cool. That's like
Yeah.
the one thing I saw that I was like, oh, that's actually cool.
Well, did you see pricing on Amazon came out for Assassin's Creed?
I saw it was there. I didn't look at it. Is it bad?
Collector boosters are 324, so kind of in line with Fallout.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It'd just be a Fallout repeat.
But this time we have the Beyond boosters, right? So this is the non-draftable, basically set packs, but it's more in line with March of the Machines Aftermath, because they are 24 packs in a box. It looks like a Flesh and Blood box, the size.
Yeah, I was gonna say 24 in that Flesh and Blood size.
Yeah. Yep. And guess how many cards are in each pack?
How many?
7.
Oh, weird.
There are 7 cards in each pack because there are no commons.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I have such a hard time with the Assassin's Creed thing at all, honestly.
I
played the games, but I've never been that excited about the IP.
Me and Assassin's Creed go back to the beginning. I have played pretty much every single one except up until the Egypt one. And then for whatever reason, I didn't play the Viking one, even though I'm a very Viking person.
That was a fun one.
I know. It's just, it came out after a point in my life where I stopped playing single player games, really.
I see. Yeah.
So, like, if my wife and I could play that co-op, we would have 100% of that game.
Yeah.
But can't. Assassin's Creed should add co-op. But yeah, then the bundles are at 60. So it's typically your Lord of the Rings, your Fallout, but with the Beyond boosters being the difference. There is a starter set though, which I think is these are the products that will get Universe Beyond players to play Magic, I think, because they're not going to buy boxes. They may buy a bundle. They may buy, I don't know. I doubt they'll buy collector. But
no commander though.
No commander.
I think I'd get that though, because if you want to use it as an intro product, I think 2 decks to play is better than commander. Commander is actually a little confusing for a new player.
Yeah, and it's at the $19 price point.
Yeah, I mean, oh wow, that's really cheap.
Yes. And you're playing with Assassin's Creed cards.
So they can release products that are affordable.
Yes. Yeah.
Even with IP related.
Yeah. But I mean, these are the decks that are going to go in your Walmarts and your Targets.
Yeah, totally. The toy stores, video game stores, etc. Yeah.
2 ready to play 60 card decks. I was looking to see, and I'm not seeing it. No. Okay, because usually these learn to play decks come with a arena code. This one does not. So I don't think Assassin's Creed is coming to arena.
Gotcha. Oh boy, what a weird time for Magic.
It is. It is weird.
It concerns me, I'll tell you that. I will say the good thing about this is singles sell very well when no one buys boxes.
Yes, yeah.
So the single shop's doing great. Everything's like EV is positive. Not everything, but a good chunk of stuff that even you can still get from distro is pretty positive. So it works out. But boy, I don't know, man. My general goal was to get some of this product off my shelf and get into stuff that was long-term more valuable and would hold up, right?
But what is
the idea? Like take it from boxes and turn it into like fancy old cards.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Because
is
fancy old cards going to be a thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. This is where I don't know what I'm going to do here.
Think about it. The people who's the peak demographic for the old cards, right? The old players.
Well, my hope was that the old, like, call it reserve list commander staples, right?
Yeah.
Like Wheel of Fortunes and things like that. Like they're reserve list, but they're also used in EDH a lot. And they boomed during the big bubble. Yeah. And my hope was that all these new players would filter into Commander, as is the product driving them towards it. And then eventually filter into the more powerful commander and start seeking out these cards. That's where my mind was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen now, because I feel like half of them are going to just go away being pissed off at how expensive everything is.
Yeah. And I think the casual crowd for EDH is much larger than the competitive.
Yeah, I'm not really targeting competitive EDH. There's still staples. There's a lot of stuff that's just like, it's not just CEDH, it's just they're very good cards that end up in a ton of decks.
Gotcha.
And they're just hard to come by because they're reserve list or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would make me both happy from the, hey, this is that piece of history that I like and reminds me of my childhood, but also it's something that will hold value and increase in value over time.
Right.
And I'm not sure that's going to happen anymore. Why they gotta overprice their stuff?
It's wild. It's on another level.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see once like TCG player pre-orders start coming out.
Yeah, and actually, yes, I do want to put that out there. Rudy said this, and this one he may be right on. I laugh at him a lot for some of his takes because they seem very wrong. But his take on this is that it's a test of the pricing. It's not real, and that it will adjust, which it will. We know every time there's an Amazon pre-order, when the orders start hitting TCG players, the price does go down. I've seen it a million times on Amazon to a level. I don't know how they decide that level, but it does go down, and then it will go back up if the market takes the price up too. But to his credit, it's not available for pre-order yet from distro.
Right.
When that happens, we'll get a much more realistic sense of market structure, because distro will have an idea of how many they're getting orders for, and that will filter back, and the pre-orders will go up on TCG player. All that stuff will start to happen, and we'll have a better idea of what the market is. So maybe this is a fake price, but boy, oh boy, that would be awfully silly to cause a panic around the pricing.
Yeah.
I just don't see this as a good plan if that's all it is.
Because it seems like all I hear is stores are cutting back on ordering.
Well, exactly. And they see this and they're going to be like, well, what the hell? How am I going to be able to afford this? Because if it's $504 on Amazon for a collector's box, like, can you,
and then you see and then as a store, you see all the stuff that you dumped for the past 2 years starting to go up.
It's just like, oh my God, what is going to happen here? I don't know. I really don't know. The only thing I can hope is that it is a fake elevated price. Specifically, maybe Amazon got yelled at for all of its undercutting the market.
Sure.
And this is like MSRP.
When stores don't.
I mean, I don't see that as that big of a deal.
No.
Stores whine a lot about stuff like that. I don't see that as a big deal. We'll see how fulfilled they all get.
Yeah, that's the other question.
Yeah, like we'll see how that lands. I'm not worried about that yet. And I'm curious whether there's going to be more print, like more released, and they're doing it in waves. Or
I bet you that's
no one knows on that one yet. So I'm reserving judgment until we see the final data. But yeah, this early pricing on this, the only thing that could like salvage this from being for Modern Horizons 3 from being a total dumpster fire is if they did get somewhat yelled at and said, don't undercut. Because you remember they accidentally undercut that one price by like a ton and everyone freaked out. Like
the Phyrexia bundle.
Yeah.
And the Lord of the Rings bundle.
I'm wondering if this is kind of a reaction to that. And it's like just listed at MSRP, which nothing ever sells at MSRP, right?
Yeah.
So maybe 504 is MSRP. And then the real price that is expected to sell and give a margin is like 400. Even that's really hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Because that's 300 something a box for stores that have to buy it in cases.
That's a Lord of the Rings box right now.
That's crazy.
That's a Lord of the Rings box right now.
For Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now it does have the Shocklands, and they'll probably have the serialized other Shocklands in there and shit. But
yeah. And yeah, I think the most egregious thing though is the play box.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, who do you think is pulling that?
Yeah, because
who's buying that?
Yeah.
Who is that for?
Because playboxes already don't have a good track record, and they'll only have the Cowboy set in between, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this coming out, And then, so if the Cowboy Play box doesn't do well, and then this comes out, there's no way stores are getting what they paid for it.
Yeah.
Then look at Modern Horizons 2 draft boxes. Where are they at compared to when they launched?
They actually did very well when they launched. I don't know if you remember, but
I know. Where are they now compared to when they launched?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That just means you went over the top. That I blame a store for more than I blame anyone else for, because like stores made money in the beginning.
Yes. Okay.
If they kept going deep on it, that's on them. That's their own management of inventory and decision making, right? I don't give them blame WotC because they made a product available that was very popular, right? You know what I mean? Like, but this is a different story. This is like, if you want this product, you're going to be paying out the nose, and we don't know if it's going to hit.
Yeah.
In fact, it's very doubtful that it's going to hit hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to say though. Yeah. So I did just see something in the Bloomborough, and these commander decks do look really fun.
Yeah.
I love this freaking crazy art.
Yeah, I'm about this art.
Squirreled away, black green.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I'm playing.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, there's something to look forward to at the end of the year, but
absolutely. And the set after it, the horror looking one looked pretty cool.
Still curious what that's going to be. I guess Eldrazi are coming back. It's got to be Eldrazi because they're hinting at it in all the different sets. It's in the Modern Horizon ones. It's in they just had it in another one. They had like a few cards in it that were Eldrazi. So they're doing that like lead up. You remember when Vorinclex came out before the Phyrexia came back? It's like the same sort of like teaser into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and with Bloomborough, I do like the showcase, and I do like the full art lands.
Oh, they got the showcase right this time.
Yeah,
that's cool. Magic. Always something to complain about.
Yeah.
Fallout looks good though.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. They definitely hit on theme and style. I don't care about it really, honestly. I did order a few boxes just for the shelf. But actually I think I only ordered one collector box and that's it. But yeah,
for Fallout.
Yeah, for Fallout. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. The starter deck for Bloomborough, same price, but comes with the arena codes. So, like usual.
Yeah, the standard versus the
Universe
IP
Beyond
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the owners of the IP for Assassin's Creed were like, no, we can't let you use it in a video game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're probably just like, it's too close.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but it's something that sounds like a corporate decision that would be made.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Fun stuff.
Only time will tell.
What was our last topic? We had another topic.
We can talk about Star Wars, but we're over an hour, so we can hold that off for next week because I'm sure that will be.
Oh yeah, you'll have a lot more.
Yeah, because I'll have done 2 pre-releases. Yeah. Oh wait, maybe 1, because I may do the second. If we record the podcast in the morning, then I'll have only done
after.
Yeah, so the second one's Sunday at 1.
Gotcha.
But I will have. So basically, it'll be late night pre-release, Saturday night, wake up, do the podcast, go to the second one.
Oh yeah, that's gonna work out. Maybe we should try to do the podcast late night on. Well, I guess it depends on how long they take.
Oh, it'll be done. It's only, I think it's 3 or 4 rounds, and I can't imagine the game. They're more like Blitz because it's a smaller card pool.
Fast. Got it.
So it wouldn't be too late. It'd be before dinner.
Gotcha.
But
so
if the podcast is late, that's why.
Yeah. So you'll hear more about Star Wars that way.
Yeah. Then I'll have 2 pre-release events under my belt, which you guys interested in the game should probably go check one out because it seems super fun. And there are pre-release promo versions of Vader and Luke in the pre-release kits. Special foiling. And there's also a special, it almost looks like Surge foil for the Judge promos. And there's different, slightly different art, I think. No. Just different foiling, I think. But then it has a Judge stamp on it. So,
Gotcha.
And it may be a game that the first game I actually go and do the judge test when it's available. So,
all right. Sorry, one little data point. I was just clicking through Bloomburrow. the play boxes for Bloomburrow are slated at 2 or 3 on Amazon.
Cool.
So, no, but that means it probably is MSRP.
Leaning into.
Yeah, so that might save us on Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah.
If you got this far, you heard the potential upside or whatever, because 203 is not the supposed price of play boxes. It's 140.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So maybe Amazon is overpricing everything early just to keep people from going crazy on it. I don't know.
Or to gauge, like you said, gauge interest numbers, because they don't actually charge you until it ships.
Yeah, they give you the lowest price between the time you order and the time it comes out or something. Yeah, it ships. Yeah. So
interesting stuff.
Yeah. We'll see how this year goes. Hopefully, we can scare away all the people that might be future collectors of Magic.
Well, make sure if you enjoyed and made it this far, make sure you are subscribed, hit the like, so you don't miss a podcast. And because we're going to be talking about this every week, like we have for the past 111 weeks, 110 weeks.
Way to make it sound really boring, Tommy. Like, come back and join us for 112. if you have to.
If you're riding your Zamboni.
That's right.
And you're just like, I just need people to talk about shiny cardboard. Doesn't matter what game, because they change what game they're interested in every week, every month. And join us for the ride. So until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.